Welcome to Shambhavi's Spectrum Marketing Magic Industry Insight series. Today I have the lovely B from Sparkle Digital with me. B, I wish I knew more French and I could pronounce your name properly. Please do me the honor of sharing your name and a little bit about yourself.
Yes, hello. And first of all, I would like to thank you for having me today. I really appreciate that. So I'm B. I'm from France. My full name is Berengere, and my company is called Sparkle Digital. I'm in the digital transformation industry, and I help companies and organizations make a better use of technology. So it's not just creating a website or implementing a CRM. It's how companies can leverage technology to optimize processes, reduce manual work, and basically help the companies grow.
So I have connected with you on networking platform as well as I am connected with you on LinkedIn. And I must appreciate that whenever you write about digital transformation, there is a lot of information, awareness which is being created as to why people should become and undergo the process of transformation. Would you like to share some of those details with us that why do you think this is the future?
Yeah, why I think that digital transformation is important for company is that when I talk to CEOs or marketing manager or any managers in companies, I feel that they don't think about a strategy, a proper strategy. They kind of execute things like creating a website, going on social media, implementing a CRM. But the key, if they want to be successful, is actually to have an objective, and that objective can be leads, can be awareness, can be conversion, can be sales. And really my feeling is that not all the companies have that in mind, as well as knowing the key USPs of their company. So for me, digital transformation is really thinking about the big picture and make sure that everything, all the digital solution that could be implemented will be beneficial to the company. That I'm trying to think return on investment, because when you create a website, when you go live with an e-shop, or when you implement a CRM, you invest money, you invest time, and so you want some return on investment. So digital transformation is this. It's using technology to increase productivity, to grow sales, and to get some return on investment. So that really my focus, try to educate companies on that front.
So, what was the spark behind the Sparkle Digital?
It was a while ago. So I've been in Dubai for 2.5 years almost. And back in France, I was running my own business for more than 5 years. And I really liked it just because I like when I can focus on project delivery. I am driven by results and appreciate that I can entirely focus on the objective. Of course, I have to work, and I like working with other people. But you see, as a consultant, as an entrepreneur, you have different relationship. You may work with resources internally with your client. You may work with partners. But what really matters is the objective and how to get there. The relationship is different. We are all equal, and I didn't feel that as an employee I had that type of relationship. So that's, I guess, one of the main reasons. Another reason, I guess, is because I feel more rewarded. When you are an entrepreneur, there's up and downs. Downs are stronger, but ups are stronger too. And when you get a referral, when you sign a new project, when you deliver a project, it's so rewarding. That's the only word that comes to my mind. So that's also another reason. And as a consultant, I get to work with different companies in different industry, different sectors, and I also like that. I feel that I have so many things to learn every day, working with different companies and different people, and yeah, I like that as well. It makes life exciting, and yeah, just to finish up, last but not least, I feel that I work with a company, not for a company, and for me, that with instead of for makes a huge difference.
So, does it give you flexibility in timing, or are you just working 24/7?
Well, yeah, that is also something that that is part of the job. That flexibility. I have three kids, and I can use sometimes that flexibility, but I'm not doing that just because it gives me flexibility. I do it because I like it, and if I get some time off during one day because I have to do something for myself or for my kids, then I might be working on Saturday and Sunday. So it's true that you have more flexibility, but at the end of the day, you have to deliver your product. And again, that's the only thing that really matters.
During the journey of the digital transformation for any organization in any industry, is there any one barrier which is always there, or one question which is asked repeatedly, which you have to answer, or you are prepared for it, that this is going to be the hurdle to cross to the journey of the to the other side?
Well, I think the question comes up front. Why should we put a strategy in place? Um, why, really? Not, as I said before, not all companies see the benefit of working on a strategy. But what I sometimes say is that when you build a house, you build the foundation, right? You're not going to put the roof before anything else. So it's the same approach, I would say. So that's the main challenge that I have today, is educating and explaining. Again, if you want to get some return on investment, think about what you want to do and where you want to go, right? So when companies understand that there is a need for a strategy, um, then it's quite smooth, right? Because they have the mindset to change. And I think that companies that are not ready to change won't start that journey. And at some point, they might be penalized because other companies are moving, and some of them are moving really fast. Coming from France, I feel that there is some company that might be a little bit behind in Dubai. Uh, Things are changing. I've been talking to a lot of people since I arrived, and it looks like things are changing. So it's really good. Companies now understand that they need to change to reinvent themselves, but it's still going to take a little bit of time before they all get there. And you know what, it's not even the size of the company that makes a difference, because you have small companies that are more mature, they understand the need for that. So it's really about the mindset. Large corporations, some of them don't see the benefit because they have strong brands, and for now they still get traffic, they still get conversion, they still get customers, but at some point they will have to evolve too. So the question is, is also the mindset of the management. Yeah.
So what you're saying is like how branding starts the day the company is thought of, the same way the digital transformation also should be thought of in the very beginning itself. Is that
Yeah.
right? Have I got that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. And tell me something a little bit about your background, and your academic background, your personal background. Was there an entrepreneur role model that you had in your life which motivated you to start on your own?
Yeah, sure. My academics background, I studied in France, in what we can call different system, but business school is like a master, mostly in marketing. But for me, what also really important is the experiences that you're going to create for yourself. It matters the most because those experiences, they make you, so they are part of the value that you can develop and then bring to companies. uh, Myself, I lived in France, I lived in Switzerland, in Italy, in Canada, and now in Dubai, and all of this is part of who I am. And you know those countries, they're also different. If you compare Canada and Italy in terms of culture and even, the weather, it's so different that I had the chance to live in those countries and have awesome experiences. So all of this is really important to me. And as we get older, I think it's as important as your academic background. Now, my personal background, I'm from a family where entrepreneurship is valuable. My dad had different businesses. Some were successful, some were not. That's part of the journey of an entrepreneur. And I think as an entrepreneur, we have to know that we can fail. It's just a matter of if we do, to, start again. And so, yeah, my dad was an entrepreneur. My grandfather, well, actually, both my grandfather were entrepreneurs. So it's something that I've known as a little girl, and maybe that's part of who I've always been and why I'm doing this. Yeah, and I hope that one of my kids will have that feeling too. Who knows?
Uh, I'm into that. So, the question I want to ask you next is digital is so synonymous with dynamic, continuous changes keep happening. So, how do you personally keep upskilling yourself or, keep yourself abreast of whatever latest is happening in the market?
That's a good question. Yes, you're right. Things are changing, and I basically read a lot about what's going on in the market, not only in the UAE, but in different countries, what brands are doing. I attend some event where I have the chance to hear some good speakers. So that's ongoing, because if we don't, you're right, if we don't keep up with the pace, then we might miss some opportunities for our clients. So it's part of the job to do some research, look for information. Um, when you work for yourself, you have to be a little bit of everything, not just delivering your project. You have to find new customers. You have to do the admin stuff. So you don't work on a project full time, not 5 days or 6 days a week. You have to keep some time for research, and keeping keeping up with the trends and new innovation and all of this. So that's really part of my day-to-day routine.
As I mentioned earlier, I read your posts on LinkedIn quite often. And one of the things which I want to ask and which I want to share here with the audience is sometimes you say no to customers, potential customers,
Yeah, which is not easy.
which is not easy. Exactly. Tell me, what is it which brings the no forward and you're able to say that, sorry, I will not do this or I can't do it? When do you say that?
I say that when I don't feel that I'm going to be in a position where I can bring some value to the company. Um, I didn't say no that many times, but when I felt that there was not a good connection between the client and myself, yeah, I said no. It was not an easy decision. Uh, but if we are not comfortable, if there is no trust between the customer and ourselves, it's not going to work out, neither for the customer or myself. So it's you feel those things, right? After a
Yes.
while, when you get older, from your gut, is it going to work or not? And I guess you asked me about the flexibility before, and I think that being an entrepreneur gives us that option to say no. It's probably a luxury, but sometimes, yeah, I had to say no because I knew that if I would say yes, I would be stressed out, and so I wouldn't do a good job. So
Right.
in the end, I think it was always a good decision. Sometimes, I was not sure if I should say yes or no. So I had the discussion with the client just to clarify things and make sure that the scope of work was clear for him and for myself. And it ended up working well. But in the cases where I really don't feel like it, I'm going to say no. And it's too bad for the money, I guess. And but yeah, I never had to regret that decision.
So that actually is right, that money does not motivate everything. It can be timing, it can be relationship, like you said, trust. There are so many things which are contributory, and it's not necessary that if you don't work with a client on one project, you will not work with them again on something else. So because there maybe by then you find the synergies, and they also are able to find the common denominator to work on. So it's fair to say that if it's no, it's no for the time being. And it's a
Yeah,
professional decision. Yeah, it's a professional decision, and we need to accept that, I suppose.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And if we explain, then you're right. Those companies, those contact may understand, and honesty works, right? As long as we are honest, I think that people can understand. And in the future, it might be that a new opportunity would come up. So you never know in life. So that's why you have to be, you know, you have to be able to explain your choices and decision. And as long as you're comfortable with your own decision, I think it's the right decision.
right. So, some of my audience are budding entrepreneurs and students, and marketing students as well. So, tell me something more about how do you market yourself, your organization, apart from the networking that you do, which is referrals, and what else do you do? Do you have a page on LinkedIn for Sparkle Digital?
Yeah, I'm not really good at marketing myself, I guess. So I do. You're right. I do networking, different groups. I also try to get some referral from my clients when I do a project. When it comes to the end, I would always ask for a referral or some, contact. We work together on that. I talk to your customers. Maybe some of them would be at a phase where they are looking at digital transformation. So I would always talk to my client because they can be my ambassadors, if I may say. If we work well together, they might be able to recommend my work and myself to their customer or partners or suppliers. So that's something that I do automatically. And then I do LinkedIn, as you know, as you said before. But that's pretty much all I do, which is some time already, which takes a lot of my time already. And again, because I work as a consultant, independent consultant, I have to do everything myself. So all of this keeps me busy, obviously, because I have to work on my project. So between networking, referrals, and LinkedIn, that's pretty much how I find my clients and create new relationship, new connection. Um, you would think that because I'm in the digital business, I have a website, but actually I don't, just because I never had the chance or never took the time, I should say, to create some high value content. And just like I say to my clients, don't do things for the sake of doing them. Just think about what you want to achieve with that. So when I have some time to create like really good content that I think would bring value, then I would create a website because it's probably really important for credibility. So far, I haven't done that, but that's I guess, on my to-do list for the future.
Okay. So, the informative articles that you write on LinkedIn, do you also have a blog? Do you write a blog?
I started a blog a while ago, but I was not able to keep the pace. So yeah, something that I should resume, I guess, because I know that obviously this is my job. So I know that in terms of SEO and to get some lead and to get some client, it's absolutely helpful. It works because it's going to help you position yourself and get some. And Google can find you, and well, Google can actually index your blog, and then some people will find you. But again, if you're going to start that route, it's like on social media, right? You have to make sure that you'll be able to post on a regular basis. And that's why I had to stop it. But yeah, again, maybe more than a website, a blog would make sense for me because I can show my expertise. Yeah, so probably the next step for me to would be to create a blog. And on a blog, you can always have like a about me section where I could talk about my project, my profile, and everything. So no blog, well, at the moment, but that's something that I should look into for the future. Yeah.
Okay. I know you have a very, I mean, select clientele and quite few, but what are your thoughts on email marketing and newsletters?
Uh, for myself, you
Yes, for
mean?
yours. Yes.
Yeah, I have, as you said, I have a selected clientele. My job is not to work with volume. I work with up to 3 to 4 clients at the same time, not more than that, and I have close relationship with them. So I won't send an emailing or newsletter. I would just catch up with them on a regular basis, either through Zoom or coffee. We'll go for coffee, or just quick email on a regular basis. But it's every time it's going to be a personal messages. So I don't do that. So, what I do though is that based on the industry that they are in, because I do some research, if let's say I find an article that makes sense for them, something that is happening in their industry, I would share that with them. But it's on a one-on-one basis, right? I had a big client in the lighting industry. So every time I would read something about that industry, I would share that with them, and they usually like it because depending on what they do, they don't have the time to do that, so they're always happy when we have something to share. um, it's good for them, it's also good for us because it gives us the chance to keep that close contact with them.
Right. What about Facebook? Do you have a Facebook page for the company? And
No,
do you have an Insta
no,
handle?
I
No.
focus on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn. Can I ask you a question, Bead? Do you think that you keep your social media restricted because you know that if there is too much, too many people calling out to you, you're going to have a tough time trying to cope with it since you are a one-man army? Uh, do you think that's a reason
Yeah,
that you keep yourself restricted?
yeah, I try to keep things separate. I don't want to mix. When you work with a client, then the relationship gets closer, and then you can share things about your personal life, about your family, about what you like. You can do that when you know people, but openly, publicly, I try to keep things separate. Yeah.
No, I was asking for the business page. The question was for the business page and business handle. Now we are hearing so much about TikTok, and that's the place to be. Do you see yourself on TikTok?
No, no, and you know what? I don't want to. I really focus my time on LinkedIn, because I'm not. I don't want to go everywhere with the same content, right? The content that you have to share between TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook has to be different. And same thing, it's a matter of time. So my main focus obviously is my clients. So I need to do some of this to get some client, but my main focus is my clients and my project. So I try to limit the time that I spend on social media to work on my project. So I don't want to go everywhere. And if again, it's like the website or the blog, if I don't have high value content, for me there's no reason to do it. There must be an objective, right? Then I'm just like I say to my client, what's the return on investment? What can you expect from your action? Because your time is money.
Very true.
Yeah.
So where do you see Sparkle Digital in 5 years or 10 years? What are you doing, B, after 5 years, 10 years? Where are you? What are you doing at that time? Is there an agency you're taking care of? People
Who
working
knows?
for you?
Yeah, who knows? At that moment, I don't want to create an agency. I don't want to hire people, not really, because as I said, I really like working on the project. So I guess one of my objective would be to work on more complex project where there is more technology, more innovation. I had the chance to work on really, really exciting project where I was able to connect different applications, a CRM, an e-shop, a PIM software, a ticketing system. And those
Wow.
projects are so, they are challenging, but they are so exciting. So really, if, I would like to see myself in 5 years, would be working with company that have, yeah, a complex information system, so that we can create those connections and make sure that all the processes and all the people working for the company have also value. They don't execute tasks, they don't do manual work, they don't do data entry. So I would see myself more working on complex projects than growing the company and hire some people. It's more about the expertise that I would like to develop rather than growing as an agency.
I know this might seem like a funny question asking a technology driven person that do you use pen and paper for your thoughts and writing things down, or is it just devices?
I used to, now less. Yeah, but I used to, and sometimes I still do. Now, not as much, but until maybe a year ago, yes, yeah, it helps sometimes, think about what you want to what yeah eh, but lately not so much, but I
Yeah.
always have a pen and notebook in my bag just in case, it makes me feel safe. I don't know. We have a
I
relationship with
know.
a pen, right? I guess
Yes,
it
we do.
reassures me
We
to know that I have it.
we as academics definitely do have a paper and pen relationship.
Yeah.
So, before we wrap up, I would like to ask you a couple of things. One is any favorite book which you would recommend, or something which you're reading which you would recommend to people who need for motivation, or just for a fun read, or make you think kind of a book. Is there any book that you would recommend that for?
Not that I have on top of my mind, like this. Nothing that comes to my mind.
No, anything, any movie, podcast, anything, which could kind of which makes you think. Like for me, Jonathan Livingston Seagull was always a favorite book I could read again and again. And I don't know, I was always inspired by that. So I thought, if sometimes you have these books which you want to recommend and you want to tell people about it, but that's okay.
No, I don't have that pretension to recommend anything.
Right, right. And before we wrap up today's session, any message or any mantra that you live by and you want to share it with the audience who are, again, as I mentioned, students and budding entrepreneurs, or maybe they're seasoned entrepreneurs, who knows, any message or anything
Yeah,
which keeps
well,
you
what I
going.
can say is, do whatever you like. I mean, if you have a passion, go for it. Especially, when you're young, when you're a student, you have the entire life in front of you. So even if you're gonna fail, again, I don't think it's an issue. And again, I'm from France. It's a wonderful country, but we don't really teach people that they can fail, and as long as you learn something from that, it's good. So I would say, just try it. I became an entrepreneur, I guess. So I said probably 7 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And I wish, I had done that before, just because I was not, I guess, trusting myself to do that. So if you feel that, this is your thing, just go for it. Don't don't overthink that. There's a few things that we need to think about, but this, if you feel that this is the direction for you, just go for it, and you'll find a way.
Thank you so much, B. You've been an inspiration, and with managing children, a home, and doing all the work at a professional front yourself. I think many people can look at you as a role model and feel inspired and aspire to be like you. And especially when it
Thank
comes to technology, women feel a little bit that they are challenged, but you are just proving them wrong. So thank you so much for sharing your journey here with me, and your time. Thanks a lot. Don't go away. Just be here. We'll just say bye to the audience for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much again for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.